Hey everyone, ready for an adventure? Today we're diving deep into the world of learning English.
Oh, yeah,
I know, it can feel intimidating,
they can.
but our mission today is to uncover the most effective and fun ways to learn,
Exactly.
no matter your starting point. We're going to be exploring a podcast called Learn English Fast and Easy
Okay.
with hosts Ethan and Emma who share a ton of actionable tips.
Oh, I love that podcast.
Me too. They're so good at breaking things down.
Yeah, one thing that really impressed me was their focus on mnemonics for learning vocabulary
Oh,
instead of
yeah.
just rote memorization, you know?
Yeah.
They use those clever memory tricks that make words stick.
I know. I actually tried one of their examples.
Really?
Yeah, remembering benevolent by picturing Ben loving everyone.
Oh, that's a good
It
one.
really works, but they go beyond just vocabulary.
Right.
They cover all sorts of language learning strategies,
Yeah.
from grammar hacks to this technique called shadowing.
Oh, shadowing is fascinating.
I know. I'm really curious to learn more about it.
It's basically about mimicking a native speaker's tone and rhythm.
Okay.
And it really taps into this idea that our brains are wired for imitation.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll get into the specifics a little later.
Okay.
But first, I think it'd be good to explore their approach to vocabulary building.
Okay. Yeah, because sometimes it feels like there are just so many words to learn.
Tell me.
Yeah.
But they address that head on.
Okay.
They emphasize learning words in context.
Context.
Yes, like imagine trying to understand a tool just by looking at it
Okay.
versus actually seeing it being used in a project.
Huh.
Suddenly it clicks,
Yeah.
the purpose becomes clear.
Yeah.
It's the same with words. When you encounter a new word within a sentence or a story,
Mm-hmm.
you not only grasp its meaning, but you also see how it functions
Oh, that makes sense.
in real-life communication.
Yeah, that's much better than just memorizing lists.
Exactly.
Because I've tried that,
Yeah.
and they just disappear from my brain.
They really do.
So it's about connecting the words to meaning and experience.
And they take it a step further by emphasizing the power of word families.
Word families.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So, for example, learning astonished
Okay.
opens the door to astonishment and astonishing.
Oh, wow.
So you're multiplying your vocabulary growth.
That's smart.
Right. They also suggest creating themed sets of words.
Themed sets.
Yeah, like if you're planning a trip, you can focus on travel vocabulary.
I like that.
So it makes the learning process relevant and manageable.
That's really good.
And of course, they mention those spaced repetition apps like Anki and Quizlet
Oh, yeah.
to help solidify those words in your long-term memory.
It's all about finding the right strategies.
It is.
But vocabulary is just one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
What about grammar?
Ah, yes, grammar.
The dreaded grammar.
Ethan and Emma actually have a very reassuring approach to this.
Okay, good.
They advocate for tackling the most common rules first,
Okay.
building a strong foundation
Yeah.
before diving into the complexities.
So it's kind of like starting with the basics,
It is.
like learning the basic chords
Yes.
before composing a symphony.
What specific examples did they have? Well, they suggest mastering the present simple tense first.
Present simple.
Yeah, so sentences like, I wake up at 7 a.m.
Okay.
or she likes coffee.
Okay.
Simple.
Mhm.
But so much of daily conversation relies on these fundamental structures.
Right.
And from there, you can gradually increase the complexity.
Okay.
Moving on to the past simple tense.
That's simple.
Like yesterday, I went to the park,
Okay.
and eventually you start incorporating linking words.
Linking word
Like
there.
although or because to create more nuanced sentences.
Oh, I see. So it's a gradual process.
It is a step-by-step approach.
Did they have any tips for making grammar practice less textbooky?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They emphasize the power of immersion through listening and reading.
Oh. Mm.
Think about it. When you were a child learning your first language,
Yeah.
you didn't start with grammar rules. You absorbed the patterns naturally by listening to those around you.
Yeah.
So Ethan and Emma suggest recreating that environment
Oh.
by surrounding yourself with English through music podcasts, audiobooks.
So it's like training your ear
Exactly.
to recognize those grammatical structures organically.
Precisely.
And speaking of training your ear, I'm really curious about that active listening technique
Oh, yeah.
that Ethan mentioned.
It's a game changer.
Oh, really?
The idea is to move beyond passively hearing words
Okay.
and to actively engage with them.
Actively.
Ethan suggests a simple but effective method.
Okay, what is it?
You listen to a short clip in English.
Okay.
Pause it. Then repeat what you heard out loud.
Oh, I see.
And finally check your understanding against a transcript or subtitles.
So you're forcing your brain to really process it.
Exactly.
That's brilliant. And this ties in with their emphasis on incorporating English into your daily life.
It does.
Even in small bursts.
Small burp.
They mentioned podcasts, audiobooks, YouTube videos.
Tons of options.
The possibilities are endless.
They are.
It's about finding those little pockets of time
Yeah.
and weaving English into your routine.
And speaking of which,
Yes.
remember that shadowing technique I mentioned?
Oh, yeah.
This is where it comes in.
Okay. Tell me more.
It's all about mimicking a native speaker's pronunciation and rhythm.
Okay.
Ethan and Emma actually provided a sample dialogue in their podcast.
Oh, perfect.
I think it would be great for us to try.
Awesome. I'm ready to put my shadowing skills to the test.
All right, so Ethan starts by saying, "Hi, Emma. What are your plans for the weekend?"
Okay, so I will pause right there
Great.
and repeat that sentence.
Easy.
Trying to mimic his intonation as closely as possible.
Yes. And then Emma replies, "I'm planning to go hiking with some friends. How about you?"
Pause and repeat.
Exactly. Try to match her tone and rhythm.
Got it.
Then Ethan responds, "I'm going to visit a museum," and then relax at home. You continue the process, focusing on sounding as natural as possible.
I can already see how this would be helpful for pronunciation
Oh, yeah.
and fluency.
It's like you're training your mouth
Yeah,
to produce those sounds in a more authentic way.
exactly. Now, I know speaking can often be the most intimidating part,
It can be.
but Ethan and Emma offered some tips to make it less daunting.
They did.
I'm all ears because for many people, speaking out loud is the biggest hurdle.
It is a big one.
What did they suggest?
Well, Emma shared a tip I found particularly helpful.
Okay.
Talking to yourself in English.
Talking to yourself.
Just describing your everyday activities.
So instead of thinking, I'm making coffee,
Right.
you would say it out loud in English.
Exactly. I'm making coffee.
Yeah.
The water is boiling.
Oh.
I'm adding sugar.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's a low-pressure way to get comfortable
Yeah.
with the sounds and rhythms of the language.
That's a great tip.
They also suggest recording yourself, answering common questions.
Recording yourself
Yeah, and then listening back.
to analyze.
Your pronunciation and fluency.
That's smart because then you become more aware of your own speech.
Exactly.
Did they talk about finding language partners
They did.
or conversation groups?
Absolutely.
What?
They stress the importance of real-world practice,
Real world practice.
both online and offline.
Both.
They mentioned apps like HelloTalk and Tandem for finding language partners.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
And they also highlighted the benefits of joining conversation clubs
Conversation clubs.
or English-speaking groups.
It's about creating opportunities to interact
Yeah.
and put those skills into action.
And most importantly, they reminded listeners that making mistakes is okay.
Oh, that's so important.
It's all part of the process.
I think so much of the fear around speaking comes from this worry about making mistakes.
I agree.
But if we embrace those stumbles as opportunities to learn,
Yeah,
it takes the pressure off.
totally agree. It's about shifting the focus from perfection to progress.
I love that.
And that's a great segue into the next part of our deep dive, where we'll explore how to make English learning a natural
Yeah,
and enjoyable part of your daily routine.
sounds great. I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. So we've covered some really effective techniques,
We have.
but sometimes the biggest challenge isn't knowing what to do.
Right?
It's actually finding the motivation to do it.
Oh, that is so true. Life gets in the way and other priorities pop up.
Exactly.
And suddenly those language learning goals don't feel so urgent anymore.
I've been there.
Me too.
Yeah.
Did Ethan and Emma have any advice on staying motivated?
Well, they didn't specifically talk about motivation,
Okay.
but I think there are a few key themes that emerge from their tips.
Okay, what are they?
First and foremost, they emphasize setting realistic goals.
Realistic goals.
It's about those small wins that keep you going,
Yeah, that makes sense because if you aim too high,
right?
like saying, I want to be fluent in a month.
Yeah, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Exactly. It's easy to get discouraged.
Totally.
But if you break it down into smaller steps,
Smaller-
like I'm going to have a basic conversation with a language partner this week.
Perfect example.
Or, I'm going to read one short article in English every day.
Exactly. Those are achievable.
Right. And each
It
accomplishment,
keeps you motivated.
it's like a little boost.
It is. And it's not just about setting those goals.
Okay.
It's also about celebrating them.
Oh, celebrating them.
No matter how small.
Acknowledge your progress.
Give yourself credit.
It's like a little dopamine hit that keeps you coming back for more.
I love that. And speaking of more,
Yes.
another thing that really stood out to me was Ethan and Emma's enthusiasm
Oh, yeah.
for making language learning fun.
It shouldn't feel like a chore.
Exactly.
Hmm.
It's not about rote memorization or dry grammar drills.
Right.
It's about finding those activities that you genuinely enjoy.
Find things you love.
Yeah, if you love music, listen to English songs.
Okay.
Are you a movie buff? Watch English movies with subtitles.
I like that.
It's about making it a natural part of your life.
Yeah, not something you dread.
Exactly. And that brings us to another point.
What's
It's
that?
the power of community.
Community.
Ethan and Emma talked about the value of finding language partners,
Yeah.
joining conversation groups, or participating in online communities.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's about connecting with others who are on the same journey.
People who understand the struggles.
Exactly. You can share tips and experiences.
Support each other.
Exactly. Because learning a language doesn't have to be a solitary pursuit.
It can be more fun with others.
Way more fun and way more motivating.
And a supportive community can also help with that fear of making mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. Because Ethan and Emma emphasize that mistakes are inevitable
They are.
and actually a crucial part of the learning process.
That's how we learn.
Our brains learn and adapt through those mistakes.
It's like a course correction.
I like that analogy.
And it can be scary to make those mistakes.
You can,
But having a supportive community,
to make it easier.
yeah.
Now, one thing that Ethan and Emma didn't explicitly talk about, but it's definitely worth considering, is all the different resources out there.
Oh, yeah, there are so many.
So many apps, websites, textbooks, online courses.
It can feel overwhelming.
It really can. How do you navigate all of that?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who's just starting out?
First, take a deep breath.
Okay, breathe.
And remember, there's no magic solution.
Right.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Yeah, different learning styles.
Exactly. So
Yes.
experiment.
Experiment.
Find what resonates with you.
Yeah, find what you enjoy.
Do you like structured lessons and textbooks?
Some people do.
Or do you prefer a more immersive, self-directed approach?
Right. It's about finding the right fit.
It's like finding the right pair of shoes.
That's a good analogy.
You need something comfortable that supports you on your journey.
Love that. And you don't have to break the bank to get started.
That's so true. There are fantastic free resources available.
Oh, yeah, tons of free stuff.
Online dictionaries, language exchange platforms, YouTube channels.
So much good stuff out there.
Don't let a limited budget hold you back.
And even if you decide to invest in something paid,
Do your research.
read reviews, maybe try out a free trial.
Make sure it aligns with your needs.
Right, it's an investment in yourself.
Couldn't agree more. And this leads perfectly into the final part of our deep dive,
Okay.
where we'll explore some of the broader implications of language learning.
Oh, the bigger picture.
The cognitive benefits, the cultural enrichment, and the expanded horizons.
I'm excited to dive into that.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we've covered all those practical tips and tricks, but
Yeah.
now I'm curious about the bigger picture.
Yeah, the ripple effects.
What are the benefits of being bilingual or even multilingual?
You know, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay, tell me more.
Research suggests that speaking more than one language can actually change your brain.
Change your brain.
In a positive way, of course.
How so?
Well, it's like a mental workout.
A workout for your brain.
Yeah, that strengthens cognitive flexibility,
Cognitive flexibility.
problem-solving skill, and even your memory.
So it's not just about ordering a coffee in another language.
Right.
It's actually making you smarter.
It's boosting your brain power.
That's pretty incredible.
It is. And, I've also heard that it can make you more empathetic.
Oh, yeah, more open-minded.
Exactly. Is there any truth to that?
What do you think?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Learning a new language is like getting a passport
A passport?
to a different culture.
I like that.
It lets you connect with people on a deeper level,
Connect with people.
understand their perspectives,
Mm-hmm.
appreciate their art and traditions.
So it challenges your assumptions.
Exactly.
Broadens your worldview.
It's like stepping into a whole new world.
Yeah.
Through books,
Yeah.
movies, music, conversations.
Not just through travel
Right, but through the people you meet.
and the stories you hear.
Exactly. You expand your horizons in ways you might never have imagined.
I love that. So it fosters empathy,
Yes.
tolerance, a greater appreciation for diversity.
All of that. And, in today's world,
Hmm.
the practical advantages of speaking multiple languages are undeniable.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It can open doors to new career opportunities,
Yeah,
make traveling much easier,
definitely.
give you a competitive edge.
It's almost like a superpower.
It kind of is.
So if we were to sum up everything we learned from Learn English Fast and Easy,
Right.
what would be the key takeaway?
Well, for me, it's that learning a language doesn't have to be daunting. It
Right.
can be fun and engaging.
Engaging.
You can make it a natural part of your life.
A part of your everyday routine.
And the rewards are so worth it.
They really are. I couldn't agree more.
It's all about enjoying the journey,
The journey.
finding what works for you,
What resonates with you.
and celebrating every step of the way.
Every little victory.
Exactly. And remember, even if you start small,
Small.
labeling a few items around the house,
Yeah.
listening to an English song.
Or having a 5-minute conversation.
Exactly. Those small steps lead to fluency over time.
Consistency is key.
Consistency and belief. Belief.
Believe in your ability to learn,
Oh, I like that.
and you will see results.
Amazing. So to all of our listeners out there,
Yes.
keep exploring, keep practicing, and keep those language goals in sight
We're cheering you on.
every step of the way.
Remember, learning a new language is more than just a skill.
It's more than just a skill.
It's opening yourself up to a world of new possibilities.
That's beautiful. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into English learning.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Until next time, happy learning.